Hello, today we will be discussing math in films. We are Group 1. In the film industry, there are many careers that involve math. We can see this through producers, camera operators, costume, set designers. The producer is in charge of handling the budgets, how much they're going to be spending. The camera operators, users operate using physics, among other kinds of math. The costume designers use math in the tailoring process. The editors are changing and altering thousands of hours of footage and make sure that they keep it within a respectable time frame. And animators use math we learned, such as geometry, trigonometry, algebra, etc. Math can be found all around us, even in movies like The Axe for Murders, Good Will Hunting, and The Da Vinci Code. In The Axe for Murders, a student mathematician arrives at Oxford hoping to be the pupil of a famous professor who teaches logic. Together they find the body of an elderly woman they knew. As they help to figure out who the killer is, more murders start occurring, and the killer leaves behind mathematical clues that sets this movie in motion. Next up, we have the Good Will Hunting movie. In Good Will Hunting, the main character, whose name is Will, is a troubled young man with a genius IQ. He works as a janitor at the University of MIT. A professor leaves a graduate-level math problem for a student to solve, and Will solves it. The professor discovers this and wants to help him do something with his life and potential. However, Will does come from a poor side of a city, and it becomes a challenge to get him to his full potential. Next, we have the Da Vinci Code. In the Da Vinci Code, a symbology professor named Robert is asked to help with a murder that happened in France. Robert discovers that the man who died was someone he was supposed to meet with. The French police suspect him and try to get him to confess, but they are interrupted by the granddaughter of the murdered victim, who knows he's innocent. They use clues left behind by the grandfather to solve the mystery of who killed him and also what they wanted from him. Now that we know a little bit about the movies, how exactly does these movies relate to a mathematical concept? Well, let's start with the Axe for Murders. In the Axe for Murders, we see different concepts that we can apply to math. We see absolute values and word problems. The professor teaches that there's no way to find absolute truth. The student argues that the essence of nature is mathematical. There is a hidden meaning beneath reality, and things are organized following a model. Even something as simple as falling snowflake is used to calculate the numerical forecast of snow. In this film, a case is solved by understanding how a certain number of murders is related to mathematics. Next, we are going to be talking about Good Will Hunting. In Good Will Hunting, Will's brain is wired to view problems from a different perspective when compared to his professor and peers. This is evident in that it took the professor and his co-workers years to solve the problems. Other students were not interested in trying to solve the problem either. The problem we see Will solve is linear algebra, analysis, combinatorics, and graph theory. In the Da Vinci Code, it was a little bit less of math. However, we did see a little bit of math in there that definitely set the movie in motion. The victim of the murder used the Fibonacci sequence as a treasure hunt in his crime scene before he died. This was later used as a password to help the person to the next step of the puzzle. So why is math so important? Well, math has many everyday uses, many including problem-solving skills, keeping mental consistency. Similar to what happens in the movies we selected, they face life problems, so do we, and the math helps with these issues. The math that we have learned in school will help us have problem-solving skills in our careers. Now that we know the concepts, how can we really relate the math in the movies with real life? Well, math in movies relate to real life when solving crimes. The detectives have to use math to consider time frames, travel times of bullets, time of death, steps walked into collapse, number of times trauma was inflicted, etc. Math is used in crime investigations and medical examiner reports. Crimes will not be solved without mathematical concepts being applied to investigation. I think this definitely shows it's a very important thing. Now, going back to the movies, how does the movie affect the actors in the movies? Well, in Act First and Da Vinci, the characters want to solve the code using mathematics to prove their innocence or prevent another attack. In Good Will Hunting, Will possesses mathematical knowledge that is unprecedented. His peers are envious, working through jealous intentions from his peers negatively affect Will as well. Would this movie have been successful without the math involved? Was it possible to figure out an ending without the math involved? Well, in the Oxford and Good Will Hunting, it would definitely have not been successful without math because the problems needed math in order to be solved. The Da Vinci Code, though, would have been successful without the math if the information wasn't kept secret throughout the use of coding and passwords. Now, given the fact that it required it as part of the movie plot, I would say it would have been possible without the math involved. Has math evolved in the movie industry as a go-to theme and motive? In our opinion, recent movies have moved away from math in the movies when compared to 90s and early 2000 films. However, new technology has been used in recent movies for improved sound and effects. How can we continue to apply this concept to our lives? The concept presented in the three movies are not directly related to our lives, in that we are not detectives, scientists, or forensic scientists. However, math is used daily in all of our lives throughout money management, bills, grocery shopping, and budgeting. Therefore, math is important and makes it part of our daily life because without it, we would be lost. Thank you.